Good evening. This time we'd like to call to order the City of Shamokin Council meeting dated for August 8, 2022 at 7 p.m. At this time, I'd ask that you rise for the pledge of the flag and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. At this time, Mr. Slavy, will you do the roll call?
Mr. Milbrand.
Present.
Mrs. Lashinsky.
Here.
Mrs. Moyer.
Here.
Mrs. Van Ness.
Here. I warned you before we even started.
We're gonna have to ask that the phones be surrendered. I had somebody else that sat in that seat who had the same problem also. Mayor Allred.
I am here.
All present and accounted for.
All right. Well, at this time, we present a certificate of achievement, and we would like to ask Mr. Maximus Madden to please come forward. And if your family's here, they may came up as well.
If you item on screen.
In order to present the certificate of achievement presented to Maximus Max Madden by the Shamokin Mayor Richard A. Ulrich and City Council on this, the 8th day of August, 2022, in recognition of the following achievements. Academic, distinguished honorable student, attending Bloomsburg University in its senior year at Shamokin High School. Will be attending ball, majoring in business management. Football, 3,683 career rushing yards. A Shamokin area football program all-time record. 1,547 yards rushing, a Shamokin area football single season record. Tied the Shamokin area football record with 4 touchdowns in one game, 299 total yards in one year. Shamokin area high school, and also participated in track and field athlete at Shamokin area high school. So on this day, Max, it gives me great pleasure to present you with the certificate, and all of us here wish you the very best. Thank you.
Do you want to take a picture of our council with him?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Mayor.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Good luck, Max.
Oh. If you and your father wanted to party, you may. You don't have to stay. Right, it's you. All right. Yes, you're very welcome.
You'll be out before the 11 o'clock news.
All right, at this time, Mr. Slavy, do we have any bids?
Yes, sir. I received one bid before the front. This is for our recycling program. And this is a successful bidder. This will be no cost to the city residents. I have one bid from Ferraro Auto Team. It is a Ford dealership out of Elmira, New York. It is for (2022) F550 chassis 4x4, and the bid is for $51,335. So, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I will recommend that we accept this and review Mr. Greco. That's right. This is, and again, I want to double check who, as it was prepared and placed in the newspaper to make sure it does comply with that. And also that show. So pending the review of the solicitor.
Right.
Accept. Is that okay, Mr. Greco? Yes.
So you don't need to go.
Just need to go to accept the pending review by
How do you review the specs as well as review my citizen budget?
Need to go through it.
somebody.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid pending review of the city solicitor.
Okay, there's a motion by Councilman Milburn,
Second.
Okay.
For the question, the only thing that I have a question on is you said that that was a Ford F-550 chassis. Now, and the only reason I question that is we were just, for the lower site transportation system, we're just bidding out another bus, a replacement bus for the lower site transportation. And we spec'd out an F-550 chassis, and Ruhr Bus Sales told us that the F-550s were not gonna be available. And that's the only question I have is apparently they feel as though it'll be available. Is there any time frame on that, delivery date?
and what it says here, Mayor, or Mr. Milburn, it says, this vehicle is in stock now.
Oh, okay.
And,
That could very well be, it doesn't have to be built, okay.
okay, that's what it says there, so.
Good.
Yes. Any other questions? Mr. Milburn,
Yes,
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Amos,
Yes.
Mayor Albert.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. That is it, sir.
Okay. Do we have anything under?
And do the circuits on the
Yes, you just need to just go by what it says right here. That's okay to go by. Need a motion?
Yeah. that's right.
Okay.
All right, we need a motion bid for the Independence Street Public Improvement Project, HUB Construction Incorporation, pending CEDACOG review.
I'll make a motion.
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milburn,
yes,
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Yes.
unanimous. Next, Mr.
Okay, open the point. We just did that. And DCED sole bidder approved. Do I have a motion? So,
I'll second.
Any questions? Mr. Milburn,
yes,
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Albert.
yes.
The motion carries unanimous. That's it, sir.
Okay, anything under correspondence?
No, sir.
Okay, any citizens' comments contingent upon business listed on the agenda? All right, I need a motion to accept the minutes of the City of Shamokin Council meeting on July 11th, 2022, regular council meeting.
second,
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milburn,
yes,
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Albert.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the bills from July 2022 as listed on the bill list, please.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milburn,
yes,
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Albert.
Yes.
And the motion carries unanimously.
Okay, under director's report, accounts and finance.
And the treasurer's report for the month of July 2022. General fund balance, $1,022,055.17. Liquid fuels balance, $220,213.21. Total library balance, $110,530.87. Total sinking fund number 1 debt service, $137,507.27. Total sinking fund number 2 recreation balance, $436,694.84. Total street lighting balance, $3,489.70. Total zoning grant fund balance, $50,017.59. Total ARPA COVID CARE Act balance, $110,068.77. For total balance model accounts, $2,090,577.42. Submitted by the city treasurer, Brandon Scandal. Thank you.
Thank you. Parks and public building.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, following a meeting with representatives of the state representative, go through this just very quickly. One of the things that came up yesterday, one of the things that came up is that the gentleman who proposed the remote control park is no longer interested in following through. A lot of things sort of interrupted that, including COVID, and he's just requesting that he drop at this point. I know we have to get in touch, maybe with the gentleman from Sunbury who made the donation, and that will be taken care of. Another thing that was discussed at that meeting was the fact that we would like to repaint the sheds at Club Hitler Park, and add some vintage postcards, which will be sponsored by various businesses who are going to do that. I know the figure was mentioned, correctly, the same, $700 to sponsor an artist to develop these vintage postcards. I know that none of these need a vote of council necessarily, but it's important to me that we keep everybody informed as to what's going on. It was also suggested at this meeting that the area of Claude Taylor Community Park, which we first referred to as CK Park 2, because we needed a name for a grant that we were applying for, being changed to Volunteer Club. I personally think this is a great idea. The idea is to honor various members of the community who have volunteered, whether they be with us or no longer, with us, or no longer with us. It was suggested by me and supported by other people that, we have some kind of a check and balance that we can control the people that want to honor somebody, and that there's a process that we undertake to do that. Another thing that came up was that entertained the idea of having a farmer's market at Flood Hill and offering the receptacles and sheds and so forth to our farmers. We're forgetting that, so we can contact the farmers.
I'm sorry, what?
Who can contact the farmers? So there's somebody there.
Oh, who said
We
we?
said Wendy.
Wendy.
We would ask Wendy.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there. I put that out there for council's consideration. It's not something that will happen until 2023. But if you have any feedback that you'd like to give me or Saber about that issue, I'm certainly open to contact from anybody who wants to suggest that. There would have to be, again, checks and balances for that. We have to have people, willing to open the sheds, to sort of take responsibility. So we have to take all of that. Liability is an issue as well. Consideration of our downtown merchants and get them. And Betsy, you're applying for a food grant, local prices?
Yes, I'll be applying for that this fall. What that is it's through EPA and USDA. They help organize your farmers market. So it's just technical assistance grant, but I'll apply for that then also.
Also, I met with the Shamokin Community Garden Club, and several issues came up, which I went over with council at the workshop. I can just find out them very quickly. Your application. Permission was requested to have the water hookup restored, the Sunbury Street site, which the garden club is developing and doing a great job. They can't continue to haul water. There is a hookup there. Mr. Slavey, is ready to go ahead by submitting paperwork to office, so that should be made available to them, no cost to, I don't know. I don't know.
There will be a consumption fee charged to the city for this.
Well, yes.
I plan on doing the application Sunday this week.
They also requested to have permission to have a pet waste station installed at Cloud Killer 2 at their expense. They're willing to provide that, and the city will put it on a permanent slab there. They found that in other locations where they have, people are willing to dispose of their waste mostly, for their pets, so. They're also requesting more trash receptacles at Cloud Killer 1. Also up and down Market Street, Lincoln Street, just in general. We know that not everybody will use them, or some people use them inappropriately. For instance, household garbage, which we all know is a problem. But it is the consensus of the group that we have no trash receptacles, they will be used appropriately, and no community can eliminate that entire problem. Also, the community garden, pocket parks, far better together, the 99 Step Project, and Mother Community Church would like to plant a tree, remembrance of Sarah at Cloud Killer 2, hopefully it's going to be named volunteer park in the fall, so that was very well received. I think that is all I have, unless you can think of anything else. Mr. Sagan,
Cover it all at the workshop and basically just.
thank you for your.
Thank you.
Just got to be a little bit cooler outside to do some of those tasks.
Streets and public improvements.
I only have a few things. The street department did finish the painting, mulching at all playgrounds, and cleaned up some of the vandalism at the Shamokin Street one, some damage they did. That's all done, completed as of today. And, I just have to make it aware, there's some days they are taking almost trash from downtown. Apparently we're getting home trash downtown. Done. And some of them are filled daily, and we're not, he wanted me to at least mention that not to dump household garbage down and use recyclables. They're emptying them almost every day. That's all I have for you.
All right, thank you. Public safety.
Let's show the report from the fire chief for the month of July. Statistics are we have 9 fires, 6 rescue and emergency services, 5 service calls, 4 hazardous condition incidents, no fire, 3 good intent calls, and 2 false alarms. Always have those false alarms. And we also provided mutual aid to 7 municipalities. We had a total of 29 calls with 68 personnel responding, and that gives total in-service hours of 47 hours and 1 minute, and there was total man hours of 211. It's from the fire chief. The code enforcement office, and again, I can't say enough about the code enforcement office. That we had $225 worth of rental revenue. We did $1,820 worth of parking permits. We had other various permits, including dumpsters, zoning, driveway, whatnot, third-party inspector permits. That was a total of $4,145.50. $500 in code violations, for a total revenue collected from the code office of $6,720.50. He addressed 96 complaints. He issued 21 code tickets. Notices of violation, there were 69 notices of violations, and that's a very important part of the code office. And what they do is sending these notices of violation. There are 11 citations written, 1 landlord inspection, and 4 of the properties around town were posted unfed. And please, be patient. I'm asking the public, if anybody's watching this on YouTube or watching. If you're watching this, I urge the public to please be patient with the code office. He's doing the best he can, he's doing a heck of a job. There's a lot of work to be done in that office. And he's doing the best he can. As far as I'm concerned, he and his assistant, Mr. Swope, are doing a knockout job. So please be patient with the code officer. He's trying. I know it seems like forever. Yeah, you talk to him, it seems like forever till he addresses the problem. But sometimes these problems aren't easy to address, and there is a process you've got to go through to make some of these things happen. So that being said, all I'm asking is to please be patient and work with the code officer. And that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you, sir. Cedar Cog. Aaron?
All right. You hear me all right? So we talked about at work session last week. Today is council will be voting on what projects we're going to use for our 2022 CDBG application. I handed out a packet earlier. That's the first sheet. Got it. So I'll try to make it quick. I'm just going to go through my little spiel here. So this is for the federal fiscal year 2022 CDBG application. The city is an entitlement community from DCED, Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. The city receives entitlement money every year to use for primarily LMI projects that benefit primarily LMI residents. So this year, the city was allocated $307,961, and of that money for projects, what is available is $254,261.00. The projects that we're proposing council votes on, we talked about at work session, continuing the demo projects that we've been doing in the city. We're just going to rename them to Removal of Blighted Structures Phase 1. That will total in $76,000. You're only allowed to use up to 30% of your allocation towards demos. That is a HUD law, and $76,000 is like 29.2% or whatever of your total allocation. And then the second project would be to refund the First Street reconstruction project, which if you look in the back, I attached the project description, as I know there were some questions about that at work session. And then I also included the project map. So this map right here is the First Street project. So as you can see, it's named First Street Reconstruction, but it's actually a couple streets. It is First Street, but it's also Walnut Street from 1st to 2nd, and then also West Water Street from 1st to 3rd. And then actually for First Street, it's from West Independence down to West Chestnut for the actual length of the First Street project. The second project would be another street project we talked about. I talked to Kevin Richardson, and his recommendation was that the city look to do Commerce Street between Market and 8th. It's a small residential block that I took a look at it today on Google Maps. The road's pretty beat up. And Kevin said that, it's primarily used by those residents, which that block that resides in is predominantly LMI. And on that street, there's also an eye doctor's office, and also a podiatrist on that street. So it is being heavily used by that neighborhood to get to those places, and also to get to Market Street, or what's that, Shamokin Street on the other side to get to Independence, I believe. And then your final project would be administration, which is your CDCOG administration, the fee that you pay to us to manage the CDBG program. When we look at projects, we evaluate on a number of things, including eligibility, fundability, timeliness, financial need, and you have to note that any public service projects, there's a 50% cap on what you can, under allocation of what you can spend on public service projects. If there are any questions about the projects or anything, I'd be happy to answer. I also forgot to mention I included a project map of the Commerce Street project, which is the colored map. That would be the area. And then, no questions about any of the projects or anything, then I just want to make note that for any public here or in council, if you want to, you can attend. We have the final public hearing for the city CDBG program. It is the same day as the next council meeting, so September 12th, but it's 30 minutes before, 6:30 p.m., and it's in the mayor's chambers. Now, at this, we'll talk about the federal fiscal year 2022 CDBG application, and also any other remaining years of funding that any citizens or the council would like to discuss. And also, we'll be accepting the public comment on this year's CDBG application until September 9th. You can submit your comments in writing to the CDCOG office addressed to me, Aaron Crawford, or you can send them me via email. They have to be in writing. That's everything I got for you. Yep.
Buckle up, I go to law. No, it's all good. So to start off, what we're really talking about lately is how we can maximize the city's money. So as Aaron shared, there's a lot of things you can do with CDBG, but there's a lot of things you also can't do with CDBG, especially road projects. So one thing that I'm going to be wanting to do soon is, and I already mentioned this to Bob Slavey and Mayor Ulrich, is to meet with Mrs. Lashinsky and also Kevin Richardson, and we can really figure out what streets do we want to tackle, which ones can we use CDBG funds for, which ones can we not. Then isolate the ones that we can't, go after a big PennDOT multimodal grant where we can use ARPA funds to match. So we'll be able to double your money with ARPA funds. So that's something that I'll be reaching out to you shortly to start strategizing where we can spend the money. And also right now, we still have friends as legislators. We really need that help, quite frankly. So I will be looking to them. Speaking about grants, so I had mentioned before to council that I was going to put in, it's called CFA multimodal for $1 million. But when we figured out the cost, and as you all know, costs are through the roof, it actually came to just under $2 million. So I actually put a grant in for just a little under $2 million last Saturday. And I spoke to the legislators also to get their support, so we will really be pushing for that. What that is for is we've already got the $2.675 million from Congressman Muser for the Independence Street project. That covers about a little bit more than half. This would finish it. So that we're talking about remilling, we're talking about street trees, we're talking about garbage cans that people can't easily put in a big garbage bag full of their household trash. There will be a steering committee for this project, but so I did put that in. We'll hear something, I think, in the fall. I'll let you know when I know. Is there any questions on that? Okay, so for illumination station, that's still on target to be finished by the end of this year. The H&H study, that's the hydrologic and hydraulic study. We heard from FEMA, they'll be opening up the appeal period around September. So we'll be notified at CEDACOG, and then I will let you know, but CEDACOG and GPI, who are the consultants who did the study, will be the ones speaking on your behalf, and you will be invited to that meeting. And that is to, kind of fix what they had, they quadrupled yours, regardless. The comprehensive plan and zoning book rewrite project is well underway. The comp plan will be done by the end of this year, around December, and the zoning book rewrite will be done at the end of next year. And also, we're patching up the existing zoning book right now. EPA community-wide brownfield assessment grant, moving right along. Met with some property owners today. I'll be away in Oklahoma next week for the national conference and training. Also, it's gonna be up for, action tonight, but Northumberland County's, Justin Scalery has been working on a facade grant application for the city, so we'll be looking for another $50,000 for that. For the environmental sustainability plan that Shamokin has through DEP, Bucknell, Ickley, and some residents in the city of Shamokin, which that was actually received, approval by city council, I believe, last summer. We were able to apply for, it's called an AmeriCorps Vista, which is kind of like, the country's Peace Corps, so it's not international. And so we had a couple applicants. Maggie McConnell, who is here tonight, she was the one that was selected. She is a recent Bucknell University graduate, and she will be working for the city at no charge to the city. Maggie, stand up so everybody sees you. She will be working for the city at no charge to you. There was a fee for this program that Bucknell is actually paying for, and she'll be paid for by AmeriCorps. And so her sole job is to help with the initiatives from that environmental resiliency plan. So this is just her first week really on the job, so you might not want to question her too much yet, but we will definitely be reaching out to the news item at a later date to hash out everything. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you so much for welcoming me.
Thanks, Maggie. And that is all that I have, I believe.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Betsy, on behalf of the council and myself, we'd like to congratulate you and your husband on your son graduating from basic training.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, for the highlight of the evening, we have Chief Raymond Slater.
I apologize for my tardiness. For the month of July, juvenile petitions filed by Department number 3, criminal arrests 12, non-traffic citations 2, traffic citations 9, traffic warnings 1, 201 parking tickets, 1 parking citation, 181 sweeper tickets, 10 code tickets, total calls 1,586, and miles patrolled was 2,962. Also on Thursday, the mayor and I were present. We had the first part of the police testing, the written examination by the police commission given. We have 6 applicants. We're just waiting to proceed next with that. Also, I have a letter of resignation. Is it okay, Mr. Gregory? Okay. To whom it may concern, I'm writing this letter to notify you of my resignation as a special officer in the city of Shamokin effective August 15th, 2022. I've recently received an offer to serve as probation officer in Columbia County, and after careful consideration, I'm excited to explore this new opportunity. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work beside such amazing people within the Shamokin Police Department. Over the past year, I made friendships with coworkers that will last a lifetime. Best Skylar Trumpet. Skylar is one of our meter enforcement officers. Also, National Night Out. I just want to make a special thank you to the Crime Watch. Everybody who attended, everybody who took part, everybody who visited. From an inside source, it sounds like we were one of the bigger ones again. So I'm very pleased with everything that went on there that night. It was a very nice turnout. The weather held for us.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for everything. All right, at this time, we're gonna move on to new business. Just so you know, item 5, we're pulling out at the request of the individual. So therefore, we'll vote on items 1 through 4 and 6 through 9. Can I get a motion for these?
So.
So second,
Is there a second?
I'll make this second.
Thank you. Anything on the plan?
I only have a question too. We're gonna have local restaurants and food trucks to the Halloween parade. We have a general idea where we plan on putting food trucks. They have, that's the only thing, because we pack these streets from Claude Taylor all the way down. I'm just asking, do we have a general idea where we're gonna set food trucks? I think our Halloween parade is our biggest event of the year in this town, it's a lot of people.
hold on a second, please. Sarah, I believe your organization is the backer, who supported for this.
Yep.
You want to share, what this is just talking about?
Yep, we were thinking on Independence Street. I don't have an exact position, and that's why I wanted to get with, if approved, I wanted to get with Kevin, the chief, and also the fire chiefs, so that in case of an emergency, that they can still get around those and streets aren't necessarily blocked, so they can't get out. So at this, somewhere on Independence Street,
I just wasn't sure,
Positions.
with that band coming around, I mean, people pack these streets, and
Mhm.
I was just curious what food trucks are all about. It's gonna be, but, okay, that's the only question I have, is just.
Okay, there's a motion, there's a second, is there any additional comments? Mr. Milburn,
Yes,
Mrs. Waschinsky,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
and Mayor Older.
Yes.
Motion carries, covering the 1 to the 4, number 6 to number 9.
Okay, at this time, request a motion to allow CEDACOG to submit a revision request to DCED for the Independence Street Public Improvement Project funding on behalf of the city of Shamokin.
so moved.
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milburn,
Yes,
Mrs. Waschinsky,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Older.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion to approve the FFY 2022 CDBG projects and allocations as presented.
So moved.
second,
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milburn,
yes,
Mrs. Waschinsky,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
and Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
and Mayor Older.
Yes.
Motion carries, unanimous.
Do we have anything under unfinished business? Boards and committees. I request a motion to reappoint Gene Bellis to the Redevelopment Authority Board for an additional 5-year term expiring May of 2027.
so moved.
Second.
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milburn,
Yes,
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer, Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Olberg,
Yes.
the motion carries unanimous.
Okay, at this time, our solicitors report.
There's 3 items to go over, resolutions listed as items 1, 2, 3. I'll go through them and then we could ask for a motion approving, those items 1 through 3. The first one is in reference to the Stormwater Management Act. That would be resolution 22-09. Whereas in accordance with the mandate of the Pennsylvania Stormwater Management Act, Northumberland County have adopted a countywide stormwater management plan pursuant to section 11B of the act. Each municipality within the county must enact or amend or implement such ordinances as are necessary to regulate development in a manner consistent with the plan. Whereas on May 3rd, 2022, the Northumberland County Commissioners adopted the Northumberland County Stormwater Management Ordinance, which is effective on a countywide basis unless superseded by local ordinance. Whereas the governing body of this municipality has determined that the provisions of the county ordinance are appropriate to the needs of this municipality, and adoption of the superseding local ordinance is necessary. And whereas the governing body of the city of Shamokin concurs with the storm management site plan and reporting requirements, and now therefore be resolved that the municipality, city of Shamokin, hereby adopts and ratifies all provisions of the Northumberland County Stormwater Management Ordinance as the enactment governing stormwater management within the city of Shamokin. And this resolution is intended to comply with section 11B of the Pennsylvania Stormwater Management Act. So after conclusion, we would ask for a motion to approve all 3. The next resolution is 2207. That is a resolution by the city of Shamokin, Northumberland County, hereby requesting a multimodal transportation fund grant of $1,971,275 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the Independent Street Improvement Project. That the applicant does hereby designate Robert Stellity, city administrator, and Richard Ulrich, Shamokin mayor, as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between the city of Shamokin and the Commonwealth Financing Agency to facilitate and assist in obtaining the required grant. Richard Ulrich, the duly qualified mayor of the city of Shamokin, hereby certified that the foregoing is a true and correct copy of the resolution. So that would be resolution 22-07. Lastly, is to consider and take action to adopt resolution 22-08 to apply for the Keystone Communities facade grant. And be it resolved that the city of Shamokin, Northumberland County, hereby request a Keystone Communities facade grant that will not exceed the amount of $50,000 unless otherwise stated by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. Be it further resolved that the project associated with the Keystone Communities facade grant is anticipated to benefit locations within the Shamokin Business District. Be it further resolved that the city of Shamokin and any associated party agrees to adhere to the rules and regulations listed in the Keystone Communities Program's funding guidelines as presented by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. Be it further resolved that the city of Shamokin is hereby designate Robert Stellity, city administrator, as official to execute all documents and agreements between the city of Shamokin and the Department of Community and Economic Development to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant. So those are the 3 resolutions. So I would ask for a motion to approve those items listed on the agenda as resolutions listed 1, 2, and 3.
So move, so move, so move.
Second.
Anything on the question?
Mr. Milbrand,
Yes.
Mrs. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer, Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Olberg,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Okay, at this time, citizens' comments. will be kept to 3 minutes. On and away.
Mike Deganis, 43 South Shamokin Street. I just wanted to bring something up. July 28th, I posted this on Facebook, and I think this needs to be recognized that 2 officers take time out of their day to come out and help these kids down in our area. And it has really gone noticed. On July 28th, I posted a picture on my Facebook page just to put it out there. And I had 17,000 views, over 150, almost 175 shares, getting compliments all over the place. I want to say what a great job our cops are doing out there, our police officers are doing. I've always been one to work with kids, the youth of this area, and I'm a firm believer of what Frederick Douglass said, and it's easier to build a strong child than it is to repair a broken man. And your police officers are showing the truth. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Hi, Jesse Storm. I gave everyone a list of what I wanted to talk about tonight, but before I start that list, I want to say thank you to the citizens of Shamokin that spent their time to load 1.3 tons of trash in the back of our trailer out of the Cole Street area to get rid of, that brokers really paid to dispose of last week. We also want to extend that to every ward in the city of Shamokin. Brokers really will pay for the dumpster. We will bring the dump trailer down. It's a 14-yard dumpster, so it can hold 7 tons of trash. You pack it in, we'll haul it to the dump Monday morning and get rid of it, no questions asked. The goal is to clean the city up. So back to my agenda that I gave everybody a copy of. Everybody knows I'm Jesse Storm, and we own and pay taxes on many city homes here in the city. Topic 1. We as taxpayers would like an update on Act 47. The last time we had an update was with a doom and gloom meeting where the city was going to go to Satan's Corner and our police department was going to be destroyed and closed. It's high time that we have an update on Act 47. There are a couple of bullet points there that we would like to have answers to. Number 2, we the taxpayers expect a clean city for our tax dollars. What is the city doing to resolve the trash and garbage? Because we can go out and we can pay to throw away trash to this entire city. And tomorrow, just like Cole Street in that area, we cleaned up 1.3, almost 1.4 tons of trash. And you go down the next day and there's trash all over the road again. So what is the city doing? It's high time we act. Many people ran on the stance of change in Shamokin. There are a couple of bullet points. Have we put out for bid the city for our awards for a municipal trash service so we don't have people dumping their residential trash in the city receptacles downtown? Number 3, our code officers. They're doing a magnificent job. with that, let me read exactly what I put down here. Our code officers are doing a magnificent job with what they have been left with after the prior regime. Number 4 ties into number 3. We need to revisit the rules and codes that we passed that are now hand-tying citizens and hand-tying our codes department for these new code officers that we put in place that are doing a fantastic job. We need to loosen this up and help them, help us, and help our city. Number 5, it's high time we remove the corruption, the abuse of power, and misappropriations of tax money in the city of Shamokin. As you all know, many of you pass me day in and day out driving up and down these streets, either inspecting our rental properties, picking up trash, working on inspection properties. And there's been many times where I pass city vehicles stopping at their personal homes and taking trash out of their basements and putting on city trucks and going down the road. And I'm sure that our city folks can tell us many other things that have been happening in recent times with our city employees and city staff and our elected officials in the past. Number 6, it's time for our elected council and mayor to act to elect officials and publicly inform the people about our city. The last part I want to speak about here is our parks and the disaster that they've been, and every week they keep getting worse. What steps are we taking to correct these issues? Have we engaged park parents to monitor the parks? Have we engaged locking the parks at night? Have we created a community park oversight committee? And have we reviewed any of their recommendations? Why are we taking so long to get things done for our city that needs to be done and can easily be done here in the city of Shamokin? In regards to the landlord-tenant issues, we have a committee, yet no one to this date has used the committee to review any codes or issues. Why? The number one reason is the price tag. The price that's being put out there is $150 or so to do that. And at the end of the day, any landlord, tenants don't have the $150 to file the appeal. Landlords for the $150 are going to go to Gimnick's office and deal with it there versus coming in here and sitting down and discussing and having meaningful discussions. I request that we make a resolution to reduce that fee to $25 so we can get people in here and discussing and working to fix our community instead of fighting in court. With that, I'd like to recommend that we install people into that committee that have experience both as landlords, tenants, real estate agents, and state licensed, real estate commission licensed property management companies. We need people who know the law and can help guide us in the right direction to fix these things. Any questions from the council?
You wrote here, it's time for our elected council mayor to act as elected official, publicly inform the people about our city. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Storm. I'm here almost every day with this man to talk to people if they want to talk to me. These council people are around town. And I, for one, don't appreciate that comment because I am here. I will inform anybody, anything I know.
Great. Let's
See, I'm not,
tell us
I'm
about
not
what you
done.
said.
I'm not done.
Let the mayor go. You had your time.
You wrote it's high time that we remove the corruption. Are you referring to us that we're corrupt?
I'm
Are you referring to
referring
us?
to what has been going on in this city for many years.
What? Tell me. Tell me.
I gave you a short one item thing that I've physically seen, which is employees stopping at their homes, taking the trash out of their house, throwing it into city trucks, and taking it down and dumping it in city dumpsters. So that's one thing. We can go on, Mayor. If you'd like for that list, at our next meeting, I will create a list of over 80 things that I have pointed out over the past 5 years of being here trying to help Shamokin, clean Shamokin up, that have been going on in this city and in this town. One of which is creating false charges and charging people in the city with false charges just to get them out of the way for politicians to run for office.
Are you accusing my police department?
Did I accuse your police department?
I'm asking you.
Did I just accuse your police department?
Are you accusing them?
Did I accuse your police department?
Well, who are you making that accusation of?
You're on, Mayor, I believe you know wholeheartedly who I'm speaking about.
No, I don't.
Well, he's a good friend of yours, Your Honor, Mayor.
I don't care. From now on, when you come here with this stuff, you better have it backed up. Or you won't be speaking.
Mayor, in your response, my follow-up to your response is that you might be here in this office 50 hours a week, and these council members might be here for 50 hours a week, but at the end of the day, what you hear and what you know never gets told to the public. The public are none the wiser today about Act 47 than they were when they were told, vote for home rule or our police department's gonna be shut down. Vote for home rule or the city's not gonna be the same. No, we're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for my temper, but I do not like my council or anyone being accused of something. So I hope you can respect that. This meeting is adjourned.